back again. Anyway, so I have been trying to find something new to argue with on YouTube, and so I took some advice from Hazy, by mistake. So I'll get to those videos, and it's just also bleak, finding rational conversation, any kind of disciplined conversation. It's not even this conversation thing. Like I've had conversations in the past with the modern mystic, so I'm going to talk some about free will. We went through this whole brain thing, video exchanges back and forth, and we kind of cut it down to, yeah, you have a bunch of dwarfs in your head that are programs, agendis, sleepy, dopey, horny, whatever, whatever your list of folks is. And they're just basically a kind of a democracy, you could argue, and somebody gets to take charge depending on the circumstance. So depending on what you're doing, that guy runs the show for a little while. Just kind of a metaphorical, broad stroke kind of diagram. But the point is, I guess I would almost say that it's like narratives, like stories. I have a story where I'm a Jedi. Okay, well, that's kind of unrealistic. Could have a story where I say, oh, I'm rich, and I have a mansion and a yacht. And I go through that narrative, and I say, yeah, but that doesn't work because I don't believe in this whole rich man, poor man thing. That's all kind of bullshit, so yeah, that doesn't really quite fit either. It's just these different ways you see your future, different ways you see your identity. And then when a circumstance comes up, all you're doing is attaching it to one of these stories and saying, where does it fit in? And the story most of us have to live most of the time is, oh yeah, I gotta pay the rent, and I gotta do this, and I gotta do that, I gotta not be hated by my neighbors, and so that's the narrative that you end up forcing the new event into, and your will be your pragmatic, whatever, decision not to end up in jail or something. Not very complicated. Anyway. And nothing free. I mean, this free is stupid. Well, anyway, I'll get to that. So anyway, Anna Counterpart was talking about suicide here, which is really annoying because I should do a video on this. But okay, I'll spare you. But I mean, this whole idiotic notion. Yes, if suicide was we could snap our fingers, and not only did we just instantaneously disappear, but all of the crap here was all cleaned up, and all of the people who need me in some way, or sort of dependent on me, where I would play some role in their future, like, save them from drowning in a mud puddle or something. All of that would still be taken care of, so I didn't have to worry about not being here when somebody needed me, and I didn't have to worry about the people who might be hurt or depressed or sad because I was gone. So yeah, if it was that simple, suicide would be really cool because we all just say, okay, when I decide this is too stupid, right? When it's finally TOO stupid instead of just regularly stupid, yes, then I can just snap my fingers and get out. And that would be a very empowering thing. But we know that's not what suicide is. Suicide or killing yourself is difficult, just psychologically difficult. Accepting that you've been wasting your time. So, lots of things to the statement of suicide and the act of suicide that is just kind of a concession that you did just waste your time. And that you wasted a bunch of suffering and all the rest of this stuff if you didn't do anything if you didn't achieve any of your necessary narratives. I have to move the damn cat because it won't stay in his goddamn chair. Now stay in your chair. Your chair. That's my chair. This is your chair. Good. Anyway, his narrative. Yeah, doesn't include his chair. So anyway, where was I? Yeah. So anyway, it's just it's just more of this crap that it's just such a disgusting asshole. Like, I know pain. I was depressed and blah blah blah. He still hasn't told me what he was depressed about. It's kind of a direct question. What was your existential angst about? Your feet are too big? I don't buy it, number one. I just don't believe it. I don't believe somebody could actually go through real hard pain and be unhumbled by it. And you have no humility in the face of it. And it's just disgusting. So I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. You're a fucking liar. Yeah, it's that simple. You don't know shit about pain, frankly. Anyway, speaking of which, Warbles posted his son's mangled thumb. Yeah, another mangled digit video. We went through Warbles' horrible finger thing. So, see if he can save this one. But, this is another one of these, the backstory would be kind of interesting, right? The kid's a mechanic. He ain't going to be able to work for 6 months. I mean, effectively. He's going to have one hand. Anyway, doesn't matter. So then Piro made 2 of the most incomprehensible, gibberish videos. Fuck. Talking about a program. I mean, he has a whole. Of course, as with everything, he has some sort of loopy fucking quantum theory on everything. But oh man, just I mean, if you just want something that'll just totally, take the neurons out of your brain, they'll reject it. They'll just say, I'm not doing this anymore. You're living on too stupid a planet if this is the kind of crap people talk. So anyway, so then there's this, cracking the nutshell. So this is one of Hazy's suggestions. And it's, whatever, hyper enough, nice enough, blah, blah, blah. But she just goes on and on. Yabber, 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 jabber, jabber, jabber. I can't imagine that 2% of the people listening to her video picked up maybe 20% of the jargon. So anyway, we'll just play some of this. I didn't play all of this, but she gets into all this wacky crap about free will and randomness and physics and shit, and it's just so fucking stupid. I mean, how much free will do you have? I mean, how much free from, again, what? Free from logic? So how free from doing the logical thing are you? Or are we talking about how free are you to choose between 2 choices, the selfish choice and the socially responsible choice? And you're free not to do the socially responsible thing? Or are you free to do the socially responsible thing? What is it? Which one is it? The balance is somehow being tipped by what? If it was being tipped by randomness, I think we would all kind of know that was going on. So that doesn't make any fucking sense at all. It's a non-starter. As even a the point is, for this whole fucking context of this whole stupid conversation about this stupid free will, is this argument that somehow our better will, that is our knowledge of right and wrong, is somehow free to control the rest of the wills. That's the argument. Is there some superpower good juice that makes us do, that really wants us, is pushing us to do the free right thing of being good guys? Yeah, no. It's just so stupid. How free are your choices? Free from what? Again, what? The choice between, I'll invest in a fantasy, being a Jedi, or I'll invest in, let's pragmatically figure out how to continue our existence here on planet Earth without being locked up in prison. So, which narrative should I invest in? Becoming a Jedi, finding Yoda and getting proper instruction, or should I pragmatically accept that I do have a roof over my head that I'd like to keep if I can, so maybe I'll invest in that. Gee. Now, what would be the free choice? Shit. Oh, jeez. Is free will an all or nothing concept? Well, it's just a stupid concept. It's all stupid, and it has nothing in the category of logically reasonable conversation. It's stupid.
Free will does not make sense at all. You cannot consciously control what pops up in your mind, Sam Harris says. You cannot account for all the...
Okay. Let's see if we can get some movement here. Yeah. I'll hit some buttons and see if that does anything. Yeah, sorry. I loaded this yesterday. Never got around to it. Dun, 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 dun. I guess I'll have to I'll have to do something.
Causes that lead to a certain thought,
There we go.
or a particular feeling, or a particular choice, for that matter. We are slaves to long causal chains that are completely outside of our control, it appears.
Oh, this is just so wonderful when people do this. You know, you didn't pick your parents' time of birth, you didn't pick your gender, didn't pick your whatever, didn't pick your nose, didn't pick your ass, didn't... I mean, yeah, that's right. Your life experiences are mostly, mostly, entirely, a byproduct of causes and effects chains that are all over the place. Some of the chains are rolled up inside of you now, and a ton of them are outside of you, just heading right for you like a bullet. You're going to blow your little life apart. I mean, it's heading right for you. There's some cause and effect shit just heading right for you.
We can neither control all what happens to us, nor break free of these causal chains we are subject to. Free will must be an illusion.
It's not even an illusion, it's a delusion. It's a pile of fucking goddamn crap. It's illogical, nonsensical, mushy, stupid, idiotic verbiage shoved together for no good reason but to claim some sort of, you should have known better. Well, sure you should have. The fact you didn't, you didn't. You didn't do better. Yeah.
This, according to this view,
Yeah, we got another stall here. Well, here we go. Right back to the beginning. Thank you very much. Oh, right back to there. Okay, come on, YouTube. Play the video, please. Sorry, it's mostly my fault.
in order to have free will, we either must have some sort of superhero powers, or at the very least, we must be able to control absolutely every factor that plays a role in our decision-making process.
We must be absolutely able to control. So what do we mean by we? Do you mean my Jedi fantasy should control all my other fantasies, or my pragmatic, I want to live in a house with a roof, that fantasy should control all? I mean, this is just stupid. There's no controlling. There's just a bunch of dwarfs running for the the front door, and whoever gets there first wins. And whoever gets there first will be decided by whoever's been given the longest legs, or whichever one has the most credibility. Whatever one that when you've run it through your brain has processed it, it hasn't chained it to the wall. Okay, my brain has chained the be a Jedi theory. It's chained it to the wall. It has it chained to the wall. It's never getting to the front door first. Because my brain knows it's fucking bullshit.
And we must be able to will into being anything that we please. Either we have these exclusive
anything we please. Again, what is this we character? Who is this thing that is this me that's inside of here that somehow is the real me? Okay, so the Jedi fantasy isn't me. The rich man fantasy isn't me. All these other things aren't me, and the thing that is me is... Yeah, I'll just sit at this desk somewhere, make some stupid videos, throw shit on the floor, and yell at the cat. That's me. And none of that other shit is me, though, because it didn't win. Because it's chained to the back of my brain, by my brain. Yeah, my brain. It's my brain, okay? It's your fucking brain. Quit talking like there's a you in there. There's your fucking brain. And it squeezes out little bits of farty shit called you. And you don't have anything to do with it, okay? There's no you. You is just chained to the seat you're sitting in. The you is watching. That's it. You watch, you do. You don't do. You watch, your brain do. Sorry, I should have said that right. You're just sitting here watching what your brain does. You're not doing a damn thing.
100% self-determination power and the ability to control external circumstances and avoid the fate imposed by the universe's long causal chains, or free will cannot exist. For instance, Jim Mooney, in the comment section for my previous video, he thinks that our choices are limited, not totally free. We cannot choose to fly like Superman, for instance, he says. No, in general, we do not seem to be able to break the...
Not in general. I mean, really. As a fact, you're not allowed to break the chains of material reality. You're not.
The laws of physics as we please. I totally agree. And Jim, I must admit that you actually touch on very important and valid points in your comment. But I wonder, why, oh why, do we tend to load the concept of freedom to the point of absurdity?
Well, because it's an absurd word. That's why. Look at it. Free, free, free. What does that mean? Free. What is that by itself? It's a stupid, idiotic word without a content. Free from the bars of the jail cell. Free from, again, so what is our will free from? Free from logic? Free from education? I've learned that 2 plus 2 equals 4. Am I free to actually believe it doesn't equal 4? No, I'm not so fucking goddamn free. I'm not free in any sense to actually change that understanding. Unless there's fucking evidence, unless something causes the fucking change. Shit.
Instead of calling it free will, let's call it, I think I need another dose of my concoction right now. The concept of free...
What does this have to do with anything? Oh, that's right, nothing. It just has to do with stupid fucking fucked-hearted shit graphics.
Freedom implicit in the free will notion is not about having absolute or immediate control over what we can or cannot do.
No, it's not about having absolute or immediate control. It's about having, well, let's just pretend that if I squint my eyes, that almost looks like the ghost of Christmas present over there. Is that what it is? Just make it up some other way. You can't make it up in some real way because, yes, there's no real evidence. So you have to go to some foggy place to go place your freedom machine.
It is not about being able to break the laws of physics either. It is not about being able to choose our genes or the family and country we're born into. It is not about having total...
Ah, fuck. Yeah, it's about making up the idea that you somehow can put you can make a cake without putting ingredients in the bowl. And you can't. Alright? Our consciousness is the bowl. The ingredients is our life experience. You can't change them. They are what they are. The bowl is what it is. You stir the shit up and whatever. Either bake a good cake or you bake shit. But that's it. There won't be any free in it. The bowl ain't free. The ingredients ain't free. None of it's free.
Power or control over external circumstances or what happens to us. Assuming an intrinsically indeterministic, observer-dependent, non-realistic universe, which seems a very plausible scenario given what modern science experiments are revealing about the nature of reality. Assuming that having freedom of choice means to be in a state of mind where we realize that our decision space at any given moment when we need to make a choice has more than one branch in it, that the future...
Yeah, okay, so you're saying our decision space, which is something made up, our decision space, there is no decision space. This is just a completely made up phrase. And to drag physics into this is just stupid, because, yeah, physics is obviously fucking idiotic.
Is actually not set in stone. No matter how constrained or limited our decision space might have become, our free will would still remain intact, as long as we could still retain the ability to be aware of more than one possible future scenario. My point being, decision space is not exactly the same as free will.
Yeah, well, whatever. I don't see any difference in mush language versus mush decision space, free will, decision space. This is just such a... What is this? You just made up another fake concept to compare it to fake concept number 1. So why don't you make up a third one and a fourth one? And then, yeah, if everybody looks like one of the Three Stooges, then you don't have to worry about anything being logical or sensible.
Even though we may often talk about quantifying free will, what we're actually doing is quantifying our decision space, where decision space essentially means the total number of possible choices available to us.
The total number of possible choices. So any fantasy, I can just attempt to say, I will move 1 inch to the left, or I'll move an inch 1.1 inches or 1.2 inches, and so I just create an infinite amount of decision space, which is just a fucking pile of crap. There is no such thing. There just isn't. The very fact that I'm going to calculate a place is part of a deliberate act. It's already a chain of cause and effect as soon as I start counting.
The concept of freedom implicit in the free will notion is about our ability to be aware of a branching of possibilities lying ahead of us, consciously or unconsciously, given whatever circumstances.
It's just a calculation, that's correct. You have a theory. You look at the theory and say, well, can I somehow end up a Jedi if I do this? And you say, oh no, that won't work for the Jedi narrative. So you just pick another fable, your projection of what will take place, and then you see which one of your fables, which one of your fantasies it has the most relevance to. Your brain just makes a calculation, period. It doesn't make up choices, it doesn't choose choices, it makes a decision. It just processes the information into the solution, and 2 plus 2 will equal 4, and you're stuck with it.
As we find ourselves in, no matter how narrow our decision space might have become. So, free will is about, first, being aware of this branching of possibilities, and second, being able to act on this awareness by making our choice according to our own will.
Yeah, whatever, again, we're making a choice again. Now, brain decides. There's no choosing. There's no making of a choice. So anyway, there's no such thing as a decision space and whatever. The whole thing is just crap. So anyway, I thought this Mickey Eye Cockatoo Fermi paradox thing was just hilarious, so I thought I'd play this just because it's fucking hilarious. So let's go with this one.
If there are extraterrestrial beings out there, then where are they? Well, take a look at this.
Okay, let's recognize Fermi was kind of a smart guy. But I mean, yeah, the question would be: it has billions of years of a head start on us. These other civilizations presumably could have been created much earlier than us, so they'd have billions of years, billions and billions of years of a head start on us technologically, and yet not a single little. Nothing. Not even an exploding iPod battery. Nothing flying towards us from them at all. They don't make any noise at all. Very quiet.
Let's say we have an anthill in the middle of a forest. And right next to the anthill, they're building a 10-lane superhighway. And the question is, would the ants be able to communicate or understand?
Yeah, so now he's telling us we're ants, right? So we have these big giant telescopes, right? This guy's supposed to be like some sort of physicist, right? And apparently he doesn't know that. So the ants, so these are ants realistically, right? That have big giant ears they've essentially built for the very purpose of detecting highways. For that very purpose alone. They've decided to do it just for the fun of it, right? They just want to know where there's highways. So they've actually built them just to look for highways. But he didn't include that part. No. Oh, shit.
Understand what a 10-lane superhighway is? Would the ants...
So now it's about understanding too, which is just always so funny with these guys, right? Because they think that life evolving on some other planet, remember, it would have to evolve, right? It didn't just poof there, correct? We can sort of understand that it got there the same way we got here, which is it evolved its intelligence. And from everything we've learned from intelligence, that intelligence was probably going to be associated with having some sort of value creation mechanism, which means it's going to probably be sentient in some way. So we're going to have a lot in common with it, just on the basic surface. And clearly, the concept of language is a concept. It's a real concept, not a fake concept. It's a real hurdle you get over. And when you get over that hurdle, it's like passing the bar exam, okay? And now you're a real one, okay? You're a real lawyer. And all the other lawyers will give you some respect because you passed this minimum standard. You passed this test. Well, we have passed the literacy test. We have a functional language. It's not the greatest language. It's pretty stupid. But it has a lot of great words in it. Like intelligence, knowledge, scheming. Yeah. They would know what scheming is. We can know what scheming is. We can have a conversation about scheming. You don't think if porpoises knew what scheming was, they knew what the word was, and they knew what a few other important words were, you don't think it'd be worth having a conversation with them? Sure it would. And it would be for these extraterrestrials that he's pretending don't have anything in common with us. They don't know what a desire is. They don't know what a motivational mechanism is. Motivational mechanism. What, you think in supersonic hyperintelligence, the words motivational mechanism will somehow be refined into what? Gloop gloop? That somehow it won't be as solid a conceptual term, motivational mechanism, like a bit of computer data. The idea of a bit won't mean anything in supersonic hyper-brilliantism. No, it's all still going to mean something. The word atom is still going to mean something. Photon is still going to mean something. So this is just a canard. This pretense that super hyper intelligence is doing something besides looking for cheap hookers. They're going to be doing exactly what we are doing. That is, processing the world both from a personal selfish point of view and processing based on the fact that they have looked over the maze, they've seen the chessboard, and they're trying to figure out, is there a better way to play the game? They're going to do exactly what we're capable of doing, and they would certainly find us intriguing in terms of saying, well, how did you guys do it? I mean, it's just bullshit for these fantasy characters of science to make up this, this some sort of, like there's some sort of level of intelligence besides nerdyitis or something, preposterous puroisms or something. There's somewhere you go intellectually where you somehow speak a more rational language. Bullshit. The concept of food becomes something else besides food. I mean, it's just, fuck, I just hate this shit. I hate everything, but I hate this shit also.
Be able to understand the technology, the intent.
Talk to the hand, talk to the hand. That was a great edit. Look, my hand is smarter than you.
Of beings building a 10-lane superhighway right next to the ants. Let's say, however, you go down to the ants, and you say to the ants, I bring you trinkets, I bring you beads, I bring you knowledge.
This isn't, not a very good quality video either. It's his own videos. Amazing. This is his own fucking video channel, and this is the quality of crap he puts on it. Yo, shit, I mean, my worst video isn't this bad. Anyway, I bring you beads, and I bring you knowledge. So now he's reverted us back to being like North American, versus the Europeans. And again, this like, there isn't a qualitative difference. That the substance of the difference between these organisms is some sort of level of knowledge. And not level of knowledge like we're talking profound ignorance versus scientific literacy. And even the Europeans still didn't have scientific literacy. They still believed in a fantasy god. So I'm just saying, if aliens come across some Carl Sagan type, they're not going to have a hard time having a conversation. Maybe it won't be in a long conversation. Maybe they'll just say, hey, you're not very fuckable. And Sagan will say, well, gee, that's not my fault. It's deterministic universe. Yeah, it's just genetic code, and I think you just have some kind of subjective taste. And really, subjective taste doesn't mean much in this philosophical conversation, does it? We really shouldn't be talking about your subjective libido at this very moment, should we? And then the aliens will say, fuck you. And then they'll run them over with like a, bulldozer or something. But whatever, I'm just saying. I mean, you can pretend that aliens are going to be assholes and idiots, but you're pretending.
I bring you nuclear energy. I bring you DNA technology. I bring you utopia. Take me to your leader.
He said something about hyperspace, and I probably talked over it, but he said the word hyperspace. He actually said it. He believes in warp drive. He's a fucking physicist, and he believes in warp drive.
Is that what you say when you bump into ants? No. Most people simply...
So again, let's just pretend. So if you bumped into ants that had radar, that had radio telescopes outside their ant hive, you wouldn't try to have a conversation? Start writing stuff on like flashcards or something? Try to, I think you would. And if they had a big guns, or they had a nuclear bomb, I think you'd have a conversation with them.
Step on a few of them. Now, if we are really a type...
Well, you would step on them because you're an imbecile, right? You apparently didn't take any biology in all your physics education. You apparently never got up to biology or something, so you never found out that the little ants might be sentient and there'd be no fucking point in hurting them. Harm would be like a stupid thing to do for a smart thing. Smart things don't go out in the universe and say, let's see what I can go fucking step on. That really wouldn't be the agenda of fucking smart things. So your whole pretense that you're going to get your fucking hyperdrive and you're not going to be smart enough to figure out that it's not nice to hurt little sensitive creatures, well, that would make you a pretty big motherfucking cunt. And so if they're that big a cunt, we probably should be able to see their fucking cunt. I mean, if they're that fucking stupid, come on.
Zero civilization. And beings of a type 3 civilization.
Yeah, well, these are all just made up shit, right? Type 1, type 3. We're all just talking about literacy, right? So you either have accurate descriptions of reality or you have fantasy descriptions of reality. And I think we can make the argument that at least it's possible on planet Earth. Certain individuals prove that it is possible on planet Earth, okay, to have some sort of intellectual integrity, to actually have that most of the shit in your brain isn't shit, it's actually accurate descriptions of reality. We are capable of that. Now, the fact that most of the ants chose to just keep sticking their head into each other's asses, well, that's too bad. But it doesn't mean ants ain't worth looking for one that doesn't have its head up some other ant's ass.
Soar across hyperspace. They are perhaps millions of years more advanced than us.
No, perhaps billions, actually. So you didn't even get that one right, right? Again, you're a physicist. They're perhaps billions of years. Billions. Perhaps billions. I mean, these are sort of important things for physicists to get right, right? The difference between billions and millions? Yeah, okay, physicists should do that. You could have at least gone for hundreds of millions.
The distance between us and ants would be the same comparable distance between type 3 and a type 0.
So again, this is supposed to be a smart guy, and he's thinking the difference between us and ants is something besides the absence of language. I mean, they really don't understand. I mean, it is kind of funny that none of these smart people understand this. They think it's all this, they do all this big brain stuff. Look how big my head is compared to the size of my penis. Therefore, I'm smart. They don't get it. It's not a size thing. There's people, there's human beings that are fucking goddamn like 1.5 feet tall, and they have little tiny head. Okay, little tiny brain. And they're still able to read poetry and do all that kind of bullshit. So this is this whole canard that this has something to do with the size of your fucking brain. No, it has to do with how your brain works. And whether your brain is capable of learning a language, doing the Helen Keller thing. Okay, Helen Keller was basically cut off from the easy road to language, and she had to do it through the back door, right? But once she had it, she went from being a dog, effectively, to being a human. Language made the difference. Nothing else made the difference. Fucking understanding language made the difference.
Civilization. In other words, we are so arrogant.
You are so fucking arrogant is the way that sentence is supposed to go.
We're so conceited.
Yes, you are preposterously conceited. I mean, just fucking preposterously conceited.
That we say they must visit us.
No, they must make farting sounds and shit. They cannot possibly manipulate the universe, and they can't even start up. They can't even wind up the hyperdrive, theoretically, without making a big fucking sound. I mean, energy wave.
We're so important that they're going to interrupt all their business.
No, they're going to watch crappy TV, and they're going to do a lot of other shit, and they're going to do it in such a way that eventually they're going to make a ton of photonic, there we go. They're going to fucking leak photons, like, your mama's vagina leaks cooties.
Just to come to us and give us a little bit of super technology.
No. Who's saying that, idiot fuckhead? Nobody's saying they're going to come here and give us super technology. Where did you narrow the subject to that? Oh, there's no aliens because they haven't come here and given us super technology? No, there's no aliens because there's not a fucking peep coming out of them. Not fucking peep one.
I don't think so.
I don't think you know shit about what the fuck you're talking about. Ah, that's what I think. Yeah. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. So he's written 7 bullshit books, right? 8. Ugh. Fuck. Oh, I hate this planet. Oh, he's got another one. Aliens exist. Contact with ET imminent. Oh, dear. Should we play that? No, let's not. Oh, fuck it. Let's do it.
So what happens when we truly make contact?
An hour?
With the ET?
No, we're not doing that.
Considering that right now, they're working on a plan. Up next, physicist Dr. Michio Kaku on Coast to Coast AM.
On Coast to Coast.
And welcome back
W5444.
Dr. Michio Kaku.
Hey, good buddy. Mr. Physicist Man.
Radio host.
What do you got to say to our hamburger eating, whatever, dog molesting trucker crowd? On Coast to Coast, fuckhead. Will you shut the fuck up?
Right, Manhattan. That's where I hang out.
I should send a car to pick you up and bring you down to WOR.
Oh, yeah, WOR. I'm too lazy for that. Fuck that. I'm sitting on my toilet, relieving myself of, the herpes I got from one of those. Well, I won't even get into that physics experiment. It's one of those entanglement things. They will give you herpes. Anyway. Oh, fuck this. So anyway, until next time. I mean, obviously, I'm not doing an hour of this babble, but it's just going to be babble. It's lousy, crappy, shitty physics. God, I hate this planet. Anyway. Yeah, there needs to be like a basic test. We have to write up like a basic 20 questions test. And there's certain questions you get wrong, you just get tied to a wall somewhere. You get chained up like the silly will thing. Like the silly delusions. You get unfreed. Because you're too stupid. So we've done enough. So Vlogadome 9 is posted, by the way. And let's just move on. Yeah, I have to do some physics videos, though. So I'm trying to get to that in the next. I'm already running out of time this week. But we'll see what happens. That's right, I need some vitamins. Okay, yeah, I might take my vitamins. Till next time.